Hi, I'm Busker James. Welcome to my channel. I just wanted to do a video today about busking in Calgary, and just to show you, I'm looking at an identification number that the City of Calgary gives buskers to go out and perform on the streets of Calgary. And let me see here. If I turn upside down, you can see that there's some guidelines that buskers must follow. Not must follow, but are requested to follow when performing on the streets of Calgary as a street entertainer. Now, on the front of this particular identification number card for the City of Calgary, it's given me a number which is authorized by the City of Calgary Recreation, Arts and Culture, where you're supposed to be able to get information about busking in Calgary. I phoned this number, they don't know nothing about it. So why is it on here, first of all? Number two, below that, it's administered by the Calgary Downtown Association, which is on 8th Avenue, where I picked up the permit. Well, I guess it's not a permit, it's an identification card. That's where I got it in the first place, was from the Calgary Downtown Association. And voila, it's got their phone number on here as well. I've contacted them and questioned them about busking in Calgary. And they don't have no answers, because they don't know nothing about it either. And what they told me to do was, if I want any information about busking in Calgary, dial star 311 or something like that. It's a local Calgary number that gets you to information about bylaws or anything like that. But according to the City of Calgary and the 311 number, there is no bylaw for the City of Calgary. And let me see here. I'm just checking up on something here. Okay, the difference between a bylaw and guidelines, which are on the back of this piece of paper, is a bylaw is enforceable, but guidelines are only an indicator, if that makes any sense. So a bylaw is enforceable, the guidelines are only an indicator. So these guidelines on the back of here are only an indicator of what they would like you to do. And they're not written into law, or else the City of Calgary would have a bylaw for buskers here in the City of Calgary. I really, since moving here in September, haven't really had any trouble with any of the guidelines that they have here, because what I have seen quite regularly is majority of the buskers I have seen, I don't think I've ever seen any have followed these guidelines on the back. Nobody, none. And I really don't have an issue with that. I don't have a problem with that. But when it comes to the time where I'm not following even one of these guidelines that are on the back of this paper, and somebody comes along and starts ragging on me, then I do have a problem. Because guidelines, as I said, are only an indicator. They're not written into law, such as a bylaw is. And my personal experiences with bylaws for busking is the City of Calgary really doesn't want to go that direction, because when you have a bylaw, you're going to be looking at rules and regulations that most buskers are going to hate. I've seen it all before, because I've been there and done that, including court challenge. You may end up playing on a yellow spot and an even day, a blue spot and an odd day. You may only be allowed 2 hours at one spot and not come a lot back for 2 days, such as the BS rules and regulations bylaw they have in Nanaimo, British Columbia, where I spent 10 years busking. I think, you know, I get along with majority of the buskers that are here at Calgary, and I don't have a problem with any of them. And if all of them don't follow the guidelines that are on the back of this paper, that really doesn't concern me at all, because Calgary is so big. You can go and perform anywhere in Calgary, so long as you're not on private property, and so long as there's no events going on in the park. It's the two main things that I see that are of concern. But when you start complaining, and especially one busker to another, and you go to places that are trying to keep busking on a level playing field and let buskers regulate themselves. If you go complaining about other buskers, all you're doing is pushing buttons and perhaps opening up a channel for the lawmakers to put a busking bylaw in place, and I can guarantee you nobody will like it, especially if it gets as harsh as what Nanaimo's is. Vancouver's is not too bad. But all in all, I did have somebody say to me today that I was over my time, and I do know it was another busker, and I don't think that I'm doing anything different than what I have seen any other busker here in Calgary do. Well, I've been here since September, and even including last year when I was here on holidays. It's only a guideline, and guidelines are not written into stone as law, or else they would be a bylaw. And I think that through the last 10 years, my experience and in the law, the bylaws and the regulations for busking across this country and a lot of other places around the world, my research has told me that I know what I'm talking about. I've done lots of research. I know what the law is. I know what I'm allowed to get away with and what I'm not, and I'm just going to carry on busking in Calgary the way I have been, and if I'm over my time, so be it. I don't think there's a shortage of any places for anybody else to go busking. If somebody's over their time and I come along, I just walk away and go play somewhere else, and I think it's better that buskers in Calgary leave well enough alone. You know, if there becomes a bylaw, then I will obey the bylaw. And but if it's just guidelines and a busker just wants me to move because they want the spot, because they can see I'm making a few dollars, then I would say I'm sorry, but you know, I'm just doing what I see everybody else doing, and I'm not going to change my ways to satisfy other people when they can't change their own to satisfy me in the same manner. So anyways, I'm Busker James, and it is Stampede Week, and I will be out busking more and more. I'll be out every day, and if I'm in a spot for too long, then go to the next one over. And if you're in a spot for too long, then I'll do the same thing. I'm Busker James. Thanks for watching my channel.